What I have in this box should not exist. I have a fake or a cloned Specialized Tarmac SL8. I haven't seen inside it yet. I'm strangely excited to look at it, but I've got a fair few plans for this thing, which I'll talk about later in the video. Let's get it open first and check out what it looks like. This shouldn't be a hard job. Why is it a hard job? Okay, more fun with more issues. Yes! A 2-minute job has only taken me 2 hours. The box is slightly beaten up, so let's check it out. Packaged somewhat okay. Everything's wrapped up nicely. I must say it feels heavier than I thought it would. Got the handlebars. Let's open it up. Why do I do this? I'm sure it'll be fine. Well, it looks like we're opening the seat post first. Well, visually, it looks very much like an SL8 seat post. I mean, they've even got the nice S-Works on there. This bottom bit, you can see it's got a lot of grip to it. I think I'm gonna have a lot of extra grippy bits sticking out. I have my saddle quite high. Here are all the extra little bits and bobs. Looks like we've got a mount. It does look like it's come with literally everything. Okay, so you've got headset spaces, more spaces for stack height and reach and stuff. You've got saddle clamp. Oh my God, that feels like... No, that's the saddle clamp. That's metal. That looks rubbish, I must say. This is for holding your Shimano Di2 battery in there, so that goes in the seat post as well. So it has come with everything to look like the bike. I think we've got to get onto the frame. It is properly wrapped up like mummy, so I'm probably just going to play some background music and speed up the footage of me unwrapping this thing. The paint job actually looks quite good. From a quick glance, it looks real. If you didn't spend long looking at it, it looks real. God, it's so heavy. It's so heavy. Let's get some scales and weigh it. This should be able to pick it up. Okay, there we are, 990 grams. Pretty hefty. Let's check the fork. Okay, fork. This one actually feels a little bit lighter to me. I have kept the through axle in. 404 grams, yeah, that's not bad actually. So this is in a size 58 in this frame, and I guess, well, it's time for me to start picking it apart, because ideally, really what I want to show in this video is maybe you shouldn't buy one of these, because I don't think it's going to be great. When I compare this weight to the frame size, well, on Weight Weenie, someone has weighed their actual S-Works 58 in at 748 grams for the frame, and then 350 grams for the fork. So it's a fair bit heavier. Even though I've left the through axles in, this is still way heavier. Okay, so as I just said, I'm gonna pick apart a few things that I can notice straight away, and I'm gonna start with the one thing that it does well, I think, and that is how narrow the head tube is here. The SL8 has a very narrow head tube, and this is also very skinny. It's got a very sharp nose to it. It might be hard to pick it up on camera there, but yeah, the nose is real sharp. So front heel area, that bit's probably quite good. From there, however, though, it falls apart quite quickly. This is obviously the bigger size, so I think this will be hidden in the smaller sizes if you bought it. But this bit right here, that doesn't look right. The SL8 has an ugly nose, but this is even uglier. It's very squared off, and the real version is slightly smoother, slightly sleeker. So yeah, something's a bit strange with the interaction in the head tube there. The top tube here, to my eyes, it looks so wide right here. Really, really wide. Kind of the back actually looks like the actual SL8, but yeah, the top tube is wide. Maybe the skinniness of the seat tube I can give it. It looks, I gotta say, that looks like the most realistic thing on here. Next up, this one is pretty criminal. You might not spot it straight away, but if you look at the right hand side of the rear triangle here, it's nice and straight. And if you look at the left hand side, right where my finger is on camera there, it has a kink in it. So the right hand side is straight, the left hand side is not. And if I compare it to the actual SL8, a picture of it here, yeah, you can see that's not great. Next up, I do worry about tyre clearance. That looks like it's way too close for me. I don't think you're getting more than a 28 in that bad boy. The front through axle here, this it does not thread in very nicely at all. It is extremely stiff. I mean, you should be able to do that just by hands there, and I cannot, which suggests to me that maybe the alignment isn't correct there. These bolts that come with it, obviously dirt cheap. The real ones have like a little S-Works on there. This part of the paint job, where they're talking about like the Factor, 12R carbon and stuff, that actually looks kind of real, and the stickers look fairly real on this bike, I must say. But let's go into the paint job itself, and from afar, you know what, you might think that this thing looks pretty damn good, I must say, and I thought it did when I first opened it. But no, after, well, not very long, you can run your finger over that and it's not smooth at all. Although, another bit of credit, the S-Works section here is actually done quite nicely. If we flip this fork upside down here, you can see that it is already chipped. That's just how it came. I think once again they've tried to make it look like a real thing by sticking this sticker on there. That sticker there makes it look pretty cheap too. Well, you might be able to see in the light here just how rough that surface is. It's not smooth whatsoever. Oh yeah, if I try and get even closer in there, you can see that, well, the top coat on this paint job has definitely failed. You can see there's definitely been some bubbling or some interaction in the paint job. Probably quite hard to see on camera, but there's lots and lots of little small holes that I'll try and image for you. So yeah, the paint job hasn't gone on too well. There's also this hole by the bottom bracket area, obviously to let water out of the frame, but let's be honest, it looks like they've just drilled it in afterwards. It looks terrible. You may have noticed that this bolt hasn't been threaded in all the way like the other ones, and that's because it doesn't. It just doesn't thread in any further. And the final thing I want to point out, the fit and finish for this section here. Lucky that it's going to have a little cover going over it, because yeah, that would give the bike away right away. That does not fit well. Maybe there's slightly more clearance than I first gave it credit for. That is a 28mm tyre in there. So I'd imagine you can go to 30, maybe 32 fairly okay, comfortably. Then we get to the handlebar. It's actually an area where I think they've done a little bit better in copying it. Like, this actually looks quite real. At a quick glance, the extra surface dots on here look quite real. I mean, if you go to the underside though, you can kind of clearly see where that's been joined together. There's a big gap in there. But now they've got some extra grip where the shifters will sit. Even that looks pretty real to me. Maybe the writing here isn't quite correct, but that's going to be covered up by cables anyway. And then weight-wise, this comes in at 380 grams. The original, the real thing, comes in at about 320 grams for the same stem length and handlebar width. Another thing I would like to add, when you feel the actual thickness of the carbon, it feels very, very thick, you know? Like when you look at the real brands, I mean, if you actually like kind of measure the thickness of the carbon, especially in like the top tube area here, it's very thin carbon. But yeah, when you feel the thickness of it, like in the head tube here and stuff, yeah, it just feels a lot thicker than what a normal bike would feel like. Okay guys, so my initial objective was to take this to an actual professional to kind of rip it apart for me. But because they're associated with Specialized, I tried a few guys. Basically, the Specialized won't let them do it. So let's just build this thing up and see what else I can find that isn't quite right with this thing. I've actually got some Ultegra here, the full box full of Ultegra, because, well, I'm going to be building up many more bikes in the future, basically, so I want like a group set I can just put on loads of things. Any kind of niggles and stuff in the way of building this thing up, I'll bring you back in. If you don't hear from me, it will have gone far smoother than I would have expected. Okay, first annoying bit, normally when you're putting the front brake cable through, you can just shove it all the way through, and there's normally a channel that takes it out into the hole in the front here. But this one, no, I'm gonna need the guide rope to pull it through. Okay, the next issue that we've run into, I've cut the fork, which was easy enough. Then comes the routing. I've spent about 35 minutes here just trying to route this cable through. I'm finding about here, I'm reaching a physical block. I've tried to go in from the top and I've tried to go in from the bottom, and I just physically cannot get it past this section right here, which suggests to me that it's either so rough in there, or maybe there's a join, or maybe bladders have basically formed like a ridge of material that I just can't physically get it past this section over, no matter whether I drag it on the front, the back, the top, the bottom. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to route this cable externally. This shouldn't be a hard job. Why is it a hard job? Next thing for the list, so I've had to put in some aftermarket bolts here because the stock Shimano bolts, well, they just don't fit in there properly. I don't know if it's a different thread pitch or just very slightly the wrong width, but yeah, these front caliper bolts are not going in properly. So if I'm going to thread some bolts, I might as well thread some aftermarket ones. Let's be honest here, this is not going to look great. Well guys, first side of the handlebars threaded. That was delightfully easily. The first thing that's been easy so far. Okay guys, that's it. Both sides threaded through on the handlebars. Somehow that has been the easiest part of the bike. Like, it was nice and smooth in there, easy to get the cables through. Did it all on the first try. Obviously it doesn't look great that cable's going to be hanging out the front, but I'm not exactly going to be riding this thing that much, so it'll do for a couple of test rides, and that's it. I don't really trust this thing to ride big miles on it. Next thing on the list, there's this little rubber bung, you know, the one that goes underneath here so the Di2 cable can be sat in place well and water doesn't get into the frame. Well, there's no way in a million years that this is going to fit through this hole, so I'm going to have to cut the base of this open. Just an extra bit of work that shouldn't need to be done. There we go, much better, we're on. And of course it doesn't feed through here smoothly because why would it? You never ever need the feed cable for this one, but yep, this one, it's not smooth in there whatsoever, won't come through. Right, we're a few days on now because we've run into another issue. Here is the expander plug. Now, very briefly, for those of you that don't know where it goes into the fork stem here, and basically you normally screw this, it expands inside and stops this from cracking and collapsing the carbon when you clamp down onto it. Now, the one that they have provided here, effectively, you need to be holding this bottom black bit to screw it tighter, which then hypothetically moves upwards and expands this red piece outwards. Now, the issue with that is that once it's inside, there's no way that you can hold on to this bottom bit to then screw the top bit to tighten it up. So effectively, it just keeps spinning inside there. So of course, I've had to wait over the weekend for a working expander plug to come from Amazon. Let's continue. Yes, next thing, this is fun. So surprisingly, I managed to screw in both sides of the bottom bracket here perfectly. They went in smoothly, they went in straight, so that's a good start. But unfortunately, the actual base shell here is just a tiny bit too wide. So you experts will know that there's a retaining pin here on the Shimano that you can normally push into a hole. It's normally very easy, but because the actual shell of this is too wide, this now means that that retaining pin won't quite close. Now, it's pretty damn close. You're talking like millimeters off of it, if that. So basically, I'm not going to do many rides on this thing. It's pretty dangerous to do more than a few rides. Maybe even one's going to be too many. So yeah, it should stay on for the 1 or 2 rides where I get a physical test and put it on my test score sheet for you guys, see how it actually rides. But yeah, not great. Okay, more fun with more issues. So first of all, the front derailleur here. Now, the issue that I'm currently getting is the angle that it wants to sit on here is sitting too far outwards this way. Basically, when you set it up, you're going to start with it 1 millimeter inward too much. There's a pin in there that you start screwing just so it can rest against the plate here with a bit more stability, and it will push it outwards so it's straight. But it's going to be quite hard to see here, but effectively it's already sitting too far outwards because of the design of up here. It physically will not go backwards at this angle anymore, so it's going to be set up at the wrong angle here, unfortunately. Thank God all the Shimano bits themselves are easy. Just need to finish bleeding the brakes and then the bike's ready to go. Next on the list, this rear brake caliper. The bolt faces here are not faced at all. You would never get that on a real S-Works frame, but yeah, on this one, these are not faced. I don't have a facing tool, so at the moment it's nearly impossible to align this brake caliper perfectly. The same story goes for the front caliper here, not faced properly, but I have managed to line it up, and because there's a bit more movement here, I have been able to get this one flat and on there perfectly. Okay, it's been another day. I've been trying to get this rear brake caliper aligned. Because I don't have a facing tool, effectively it's been a constant process of wheel off, undo the brake caliper, sand away to try and get the alignment better, brake caliper back on, and then rinse and repeat again and again until the caliper is aligned. Now I'm sure there are a few mechanics out there that have a better way to do this. I'm always looking to be a little bit better as a mechanic, so guys, if you have any better suggestions and better ways to do this, please do let me know. I'm not a professional or anything, I'm just a dude here in my apartment building bikes. Yes! A 2-minute job has only taken me 2 hours. Well everybody, here it is, the finished product. As I squat down, it'll come into view now. This is it. Well, there's the full side profile, guys. I mean, you can let me know what you think. To be honest, if I just saw this kind of like briefly, like you were riding past it or you just had a quick glance as it was stopped at a cafe or whatever, you probably would be fooled. However, I think if your friend owned one of these and you saw them once a week or once every other week, I think you would start to slowly notice the imperfections. They'll be small at first. You'll be like, oh, I didn't know the SL8 had that weird shape. For example, around the head tube here, you can see that bit just doesn't connect very nicely like the normal SL8 does. Which brings me on to the next thing that I'd imagine the keen-eyed of you would have noticed, and that is this guy right here. So this is practically level, practically flat, maybe slightly turned downwards just a little bit. Why is the head unit mount sticking up so much? There is a one option for setting it, and that's the option. So I guess good for visibility if you want to be looking at your data, but aerodynamically and looks wise, that is horrible. That is horrible. Ugh. To be quite honest with you guys, I'm not going to bar tape it because I'm only going to ride this thing once. I'm a little bit scared to ride it, first of all, to be honest. I will do a full review of it, just like I do with my other bike reviews, and I'm going to put it on my big score sheet and you can kind of see where it compares. Which gets me on to the next topic on the things that I have paired it with. So just a normal full Ultegra group set, normal look Keo pedals. I've just got one bottle cage on there for now, just a normal lightweight Supercaz one, like 19 grams. And I've paired it with these wheels. These are legitimate wheels, by the way, and I'm going to review them when the weather stops looking like this on the weather apps in the UK. You can't really use them properly and test the handling and stuff on them. So I've kind of given this bike its best fighting chance with the equipment. We've got Vittoria Corsa Pros, fast and comfortable tyre, paired with TPU inner tubes, fast and relatively comfortable. These are lightweight wheels. They come in at 1293 grams, I think. Picture on screen now. So yeah, it's kind of paired with like an almost perfect wheel set. So like I said, it's got everything going for it, and I'm not expecting much. I don't think it's gonna feel very good. Maybe not very comfortable, maybe not very snappy, things like that. We shall see. Obviously, next thing to talk about, I've left loads of cable because I want to make it easy whenever I use this group set for a real bike. But yeah, the fact that I could not physically get it past this point here in the fork, I mean, that is criminal. You can just tell that it's not been made properly. I am going to weigh this in just now. I've got one more thing to talk about before I do, and that is the options that there was on this thing. There were so many bikes to choose from. There was like the Factor Ostro, the Scott Foil. They didn't actually do the Scott Foil in the bigger 58 size like I had. The Cervelo S5, so many bikes to choose from. And when I basically spoke to them, they said, what color do you want? There was every single color option I've ever seen available for the Tarmac SL8 here, which is kind of mind-blowing. They'll literally do anything. But the good news is that Specialized recently have had a massive crackdown combining themselves with the Chinese government for stopping these AliExpress knockoffs, and after building this thing up, it is such a good thing. Like, yeah, they need to be stopped. The main concern really is just the quality and the safety of the bike. It's not good enough. Every single thing that I ran into here would have taken minutes on the real Specialized. Okay, here we go. I haven't actually weighed this thing in yet, so let's have a look. Zero the scales, get this thing on. Remember, it's fully built, it's got pedals, bottle cages, mount on. Well, as you can see there, guys, it's 7.31 kilos. If I turn that to pounds for Americans that like to measure in crazy money, 16.4 pounds. That as a whole has utterly surprised me. It's only 100 grams heavier than my Seeker Spear and my Specialized Tarmac SL8. I don't know what to say. Now, the main thing that this one has got going for it is that very light wheel set, sub 1300 grams. That really is gonna help this bike. Also, on my Seeker Spear, I have power meter pedals, which are going to be like 60-70 grams heavier than what these pedals are as well. And it doesn't have bar tape on, so maybe chuck on, I don't know, another 50 grams? You guys can choose how much weight goes on there. So guys, not only does it have like one of the best wheel setups that it has going for it, it also kind of competes with some of the top brands at the moment, which is driving me nuts. I was expecting it to be heavier, but that once again means when I do the full ride review of this thing, it has even more to live up to, because it should feel light and snappy at that weight. Will it? So guys, there it is, the full build up. Yeah, not great. Let's be honest, not an easy job, which kind of talks to the quality of the frame. But relatively speaking, quite a good looking replica that will fool you for maybe a little bit. But here is the question. Can I recommend that you ever get one? As the film The Wolf of Wall Street once said,
absolutely fucking not.
Yeah, don't buy it. Like, the quality is just not high enough. I can't tell you if it's a safe frame to ride. Like I said, one of my next few videos, whenever the rain stops, I'll be getting out on this thing for a really long ride. And finally guys, the reason I've got one, well, two reasons were really. One, for a very interesting video, curiosity got the best of me. Number two, I really like custom painting bikes. I have a few older videos on my channel here that you can see on screen now. They're older videos, they're not very good. But I love painting bikes, and actually it's something I'm kind of maybe looking into getting into a bit more professionally this year. So this will basically be a sacrificial bike frame where, well, it doesn't really matter if I stand a bit too deep and stuff, it's never gonna be ridden again, and I could just use it to practice over and over, paint and sand as an option there, without ruining any actual decent bikes. So you guys, if you do have any questions, chuck them in the comments down below. I'm still behind, I know, but I will catch up eventually. Or if you want to follow my daily shenanigans, you can find me on Instagram over here. I hope you found this one interesting. I've been Jason, this has been Cycling Unboxed. I'll see you in another video.